As restrictions are lifted, data shows Texas is lagging behind most of the nation with vaccine distribution. The state ranks 47th out of 50 for vaccinations in percent of population that's received at least one dose. And the state is also behind most of the country when it comes to fully vaccinating people. Texas has less than 9% of its population fully vaccinated. We're one of only 11 other states that have failed to reach that 9% mark. Here in Bexar County, 11% of our population has been fully vaccinated, and more than 7% have received just one dose. That leaves more than 81% of our population unvaccinated, with many struggling to get access to a shot. But Dr. Colleen Bridger says Bexar County will be getting more vaccines every week, increasing your chances to book an appointment.
We are almost over the hump where people who want vaccine won't be able to get it. I think within the next month, that vaccine supply will be at a point where people will be able to make an appointment and get vaccinated.
Well, that is certainly terrific news. Dr. Bridger says more pharmacies and doctors' offices received vaccines this week than ever before. So keep your eyes open for appointments there. Metro Health also plans to do mobile pop-up vaccination events in the future. And if you aren't eligible to receive the vaccine right now, that could be changing soon. Texas will soon release the next groups of people who are eligible under Phase 1C. The Department of State Health Services says it could have an announcement as soon as this week. Right now, you need to fit into one of these categories to be eligible for a COVID vaccine. Vaccines are open to people in Phase 1A and 1B, and teachers, school staff, and child care workers. The vaccine situation is constantly developing, and we're updating you around the clock with the KENS 5 vaccine tracker. You can find fast facts about providers and your eligibility. Go to kens5.com/vaccine.